You are now watching M.O.D Entertainment. Make sure you subscribe and check out the playlist.
I grew up hearing gunshots in the late night. Ghetto bird, police sirens as a mother cries. Just another victim of the Soundbrown genocide. Locals posted locked and loaded, ready to take lives. And when they heard the chief late, they would duck up out of sight. Like your car when the sun down, it was mission time. You had to stay alert cause bullets always travel blind. We stayed posted, we stayed drinking and we getting high. Marchando down the enemy's neighborhood as we ride. Put the hood, put the glica sample, fuck their side. No regrets, but the truth is no peace of mind.
G-File.
Now, starting off right here, we have one of the most largest neighborhoods in this area. You know, that's well known, that's old school, that definitely do their thing. They have their numbers, they have their reputation, they get it on and popping. You have the Westside Ocelot neighborhood. You know, AZT. Now that Ocelot neighborhood is definitely large, homie. They definitely with the business. You can find them on 8th and Western. That's their heart of the neighborhood, their dojo, where they get it on and popping. And like I said, Aslan is a neighborhood that's well respected. They have their members. They have writers, homie. These guys are deep as hell. They're in different cities, different states. Kind of like Playboy, Florence, Temple, and those neighborhoods. You know what I mean? They're also in the SGV. They had several locations. You know what I mean? Aslan is a neighborhood that definitely you hear about, and they put on the map, homie. They get it on and cracking. You know what I mean? I know a few homies that are, Aslan, down ass homies, like Grumpy, that was a Firme homie right there. Gato was another Firme camarada. The homie Big Head, that fool was cool too. Hammer, that was a boy right there. Giovanni, that fool was cool. No, but anywho, Aslan is a neighborhood that's definitely with the business, homie. And they're in different states, homie. Like I said, homie, they're well structured, they're well schooled. You know what I mean? And this is home base for them. This is where they started. This is where it all started from. You know what I mean? Right here, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods like Wife and Armenian Power. Because obviously, they share territory. So close to each other. You're gonna have animosity and beef. You know what I mean? But as many enemies that Aslan has, I mean, they have the numbers to combat them. You know what I mean? These guys, some no pushovers. They definitely have riders, homie, and definitely be putting their barrio up on the map. You know what I mean? They actually have a few rappers out of this neighborhood as well. Go check them out. Their music is firme. Like I said, homie, Aslan just carries himself firme. Their neighborhood is. You know what I mean? They got that shit well structured. But that's what's up with the West Side Aslan neighborhood right there, holding it down and representing for Aslan right there. Also, right here on the west side of LA, you have the St. Andrew Street. That's at STA neighborhood. STA, standing for St. Andrews. Um, Navarro St. Andrew is, roughly a new neighborhood. You know what I mean? It hasn't been around for that long. You feel me? Now they're located on North Street and Andrew Place, between Melrose and Beverly. So that's what their neighborhood is. Now I'm not sure if they have any connection with Barrios St. Andrews. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's the same neighborhood. They write it BSA. I don't know if like maybe they have a different way of like forming it sometimes, because I know that there's barrios that do that, like the Friends neighborhood and stuff like that. So I roughly don't know if it's the same neighborhood right there. But the St. Andrew neighborhood is a neighborhood that roughly small, but they do they get on and cracking. You know what I mean? You see the activity by these guys. And yeah, that's what's up with them, holding it down right there for their barrio, and putting it on the map. Another neighborhood that you have right here in the west of LA is the Bronson neighborhood, the BSE neighborhood. Now, BSE is a neighborhood that's roughly new. You know what I mean? Roughly a small neighborhood as well. They're located right there, what's on Mid City, on Washington Heights area, central of Los Angeles. Right there on Bronson and by Crenshaw Boulevard. Now the reason it's BSE is because they say it like how you say it in Spanish. With Spanish, like how they would write it in Spanish. Hints with the E comes. That's where the E comes into place, because I know there's people that are like, why does it have an E if the street doesn't have an E on it? But that's why, because it's being pronounced like if it's in Spanish. You get what I mean? But yeah, that's what's up with the BSC neighborhood right there. Roughly a small, newish neighborhood, but nonetheless, homie, they're still a barrio. They still have their riders, and they still do their thing right there for their barrio. Now here you have the OFA neighborhood. OFA was a large tag banging crew that was around since the 80s. Pretty old school tag banging, crew that did start off as a tag crew, and then transitioned to tag banging, then became a neighborhood. Used to stand for out for ass or all kinds of different meanings. But now it stands for Oxford Avenue. Hence where OFA, Oxford, and then the A for the avenue. So Oxford Avenue, located right here, Oxford Avenue, obviously, you know what I mean, is their territory, home base for them. Now, even though they're large for a tank crew, or they were large for a tank bang crew or tank crew, they're roughly small when it comes to like an actual neighborhood. And, they're not that old school, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, homie, they do have their riders. I have homies from right here that be holding it down and definitely put their rider on the map, you know what I mean? These guys ain't no pushovers, no chumps. They do have their homies that will lay you down. I I know people could get it twisted just because it used to be a tagging crew. They're nothing but taggers, but nah, homie, these guys are some real riders. They earn their 1-3, and you know what I mean. They rip it proudly. But that's what's up with the Oxford Avenue right there. Now right here you have the Angelino Heights neighborhood. Now the Angelino Heights neighborhood is an old school barrio, been around since the 50s already, so it's pretty old school. You know what I mean? I actually heard that it was around here even before Dodger Stadium was put there. You know what I mean? But back then it was just like a club. You know what I mean? And it didn't transform into a gang or gang banging into the 50s. Hence why people say that it started in the 50s, but they actually go back older than that. And Angelino Heights, they'd actually start off with some Cambodians and Italians in their neighborhood. Um, you know what I mean? And then Hispanics started getting in, and you already know the get down. But Angelino Heights is an old school neighborhood that's large, and not only is it large, they're spread out throughout different cities. You know what I mean? And even in Northern Cali, upstate Sureños, they're deep as hell out there. You know what I mean? In the Southwest, they got a large presence, large in numbers. And this is all one united neighborhood. It is the same neighborhood, but this is their original grounds, originally where they come from. Through these back ends, through these back alleys where the Dodger Stadium is at. And even though people think it's a nice area because they're gentrifying it, doesn't mean nothing. Don't let the looks deceive you, because it does get on and cracking, homie. And this Angelino's neighborhood right here, Angelino Heights, they definitely have their riders and be putting it on the map, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods. And like I said, even though because it looks nice, homie, don't ever get it twisted, dog. They get it on and popping. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Sly. From Angelino Heights, you know what I mean? That's a Feedman camarada. The homies from Angelino Heights will be putting it on the map. Here we have the Bellevue Dukes, the BUD neighborhood. Now, BUD is the neighborhood that's located right here in the west of LA, right here on Bellevue Avenue. Almost by the park, by the La Mirada. I know that they claim that area, but BUD and them, they're neighbors, so that's why you get the heavy tension between both neighborhoods. Now, BUD was a tagging crew before, a tag banging crew that used to stand for blazing up daily, but then you already know how it is. I can confirm that they're a neighborhood, but that's what they write, that's what they say, that's what they put. You get what I mean? But I can't confirm it. Now, they write 1-3. They were a tag banging crew in the 90s. And then they say like up in the mid 2000s they became a neighborhood. Like I said, I can't confirm that, but that's what they write and everything like that. It was a small tag bang crew, so they're not as large as some of these other neighborhoods around here. But nonetheless, homie, they put it down. You see the activity by these guys, especially the graffiti. They write everywhere. They be holding it down. You feel me? So before it was blazing up daily, but now it's Bellevue Dukes. Obviously, because they're located right here in Bellevue, and that's what's up with their neighborhood. They still right there holding it down, representing it, and putting their Chicano barrio up on the map. You feel me? But that's what's up with the Bellevue Dukes right there. Another neighborhood that you have right here on the west side of LA is the Westside Alley Boys neighborhood. And not to be confused with the ones from Orange County. I heard that these ones were different, but then they clicked up or they linked up. Or I also have heard that a guy from the Orange County ones came out down here in the 80s and established it here. I heard different stories. You know what I mean? All I could tell you is that they're right here. You know what I mean? Through these back alleys right here, almost close to 8th Avenue and all of that. You know what I mean? Is where you find the Westside Alley Boys. They were roughly a small neighborhood. You know what I mean? They did get deep at one point, but then now they're more smaller once again. You know, you roughly don't see them up as much. But this is the neighborhood where Mr. Silent, the one that wrestled Mr. Criminal, this is the neighborhood in which he's from. You know, where he came from. You know, the neighborhood he belongs to. You know, Mr. Silent, go check out his music. He gets down. You know what I mean? Se avienta. But yeah, that's what's up with the West Side Alley Boys neighborhood right here, holding it down, and definitely putting their barrio still on the map. And you know, you still see the activity, so they still be holding it down right there and putting their barrio up on the map right there. But that's what's up with the Alley Boys gang right there.